starting to reinstill full contact practices and try to ratchet up the physical intensity on the practice field. How much do you feel that's needed, and how do you balance that this late in the season with so much wear and tear on your bodies?
I just feel like you have to be smart about it, but at the same time, you have to realize that that's the only way to go out there and play as physical as you want to play. Is you have to practice it and do full speed things in practice with full contact, good on goods. I mean, Coach, I feel like I have a lot of confidence in Coach that he's going to be smart with it and he's going to be able to do it enough to get us some good physicality going in practices.
Jacques, do you feel like you guys needed that after Saturday night with the disparity between the run game, yards, and all that stuff? You think you guys need to be more tough during the week to kind of prepare?
Most certainly. I mean, playing in this conference, we know that this is a conference based off the trenches play and running the ball, and things like that, inside drill and things like that. I think that'll definitely be something that's good for us to prepare for, our next opponent.
What did you think of Josh's performance Saturday, and what have you said to him?
I mean, I've been talking to him, just letting him know that the offensive line, we have his back. I feel like he showed incredible poise in there, just overall, and he had great communication between us and him. And I feel like I saw a lot of good things from Josh Saturday night.
James, have y'all watched the tape as an offensive line?
Yeah, we had watched the film together as offensive.
How tough was that when you watched?
Man, it was very tough. It was extremely disappointing to see our performance right there. We needed to be leaders for our team, and we didn't perform to our abilities and what our team needed from us on Saturday night against Missouri.
Any explanation why after the fact?
I just feel like guys were ready from an emotional standpoint, but I don't think maybe the focus might have been there all the way. Like we had uncharacteristic penalties and things like that that are just inexcusable from our offensive line with as much experience as we have.
What caused those penalties? Was it a new quarterback? Was it the crowd? Was it Missouri's line moving back and forth?
I feel like it might be a combination of things. I really couldn't tell you one specific reason why we had those penalties. Like I said before, it's uncharacteristic of us. That's something that we really try to focus on in practice, being disciplined. And when it doesn't show up on Saturday like that, it's going to be addressed and it's going to be fixed within this football program with these coaches that we have.
So both of you, y'all were competitive, certainly competitive. Georgia beat South Carolina for these last two games on the road. How much of a difference can it make going back to Newland this week? How much better a team do you think you are right now at home than on the road?
I feel like the team is just a great atmosphere when we play at home, and we always love to play in front of Nail, and it's something that really gets the team going. And we have had some of our best performances at home this season. I feel like the team is really looking forward to being able to play at home again in front of our crowd. And I feel like it helps us too that we're playing these meaningful games in November.
I think playing in the SEC, every team has an advantage while playing at home, and it's just something that we got to continuously learn, especially playing on the road, And as we push forward, looking into the Auburn game, playing at home is definitely going to be an advantage to us.
Why was it so difficult to contain Matty Mock in the pocket?
Matty Mock, he was a read pass quarterback. If he didn't see anything open, he would just take off. And majority of the time, we thought the guy was trying to throw the ball, and he wasn't. He was just looking for gaps and holes in our defense to run the ball.
What stands out about Auburn's rushing attack? I don't know how much film you've been able to see of them so far, but what stands out about their running game?
I watched the game against Arkansas. At 3 in the morning when I got home, and Auburn, they're pretty sound at running the football, and that's something that we definitely are pertaining to this week in practice. That's exactly why we're going back to full pads. We got to get more physicality in our defensive line play, and we definitely have to stop the run this weekend.
James, just what was Coach's message to you guys yesterday? In here he used the word dominated to talk about the line of scrimmage. How did he communicate that to you guys? Where do you go from here?
He basically told us that it wasn't that we didn't play our brand of football out there, and that's not the way that he was going. We're going to represent Tennessee like that. We're not going to go out there and continue to represent Tennessee that way as we did Saturday night, especially in the line of scrimmage. And that's one of the reasons for getting back to the practices, being more physical, and just everybody recommitting and focusing on this process and going out here and finishing these last 3 games strong.
Okay, what makes Auburn's run game so good? Is it misdirection? Are they physical up front? Personnel groupings? What is it?
I think they have a very talented offensive line, from what I've seen, and they're a type of offensive line that strains really hard, and they won't allow you to get off the block, and that's just something that we have to do as the defensive line. We got to do better at fundamentals of getting off the blocks and staying in our gaps and setting our points and having gap integrity, like Coach Jones said before.
How good is Trey Mason?
Yes.
How good is Trey Mason?
Trey Mason. Oh, he's a very good running back. I mean, I think he's one of the leaders in the SEC, and I mean, he's had quite a few good games. These previous games for him that I've seen, and I mean, like he's a good back, and I mean, but we're not worried about Trey. We're more worried about what we can do as a defensive line to get ready to attack Auburn.
Could you talk about why Tennessee has been so much better at home than on the road?
I just feel like it's when you play in front of that crowd, it's a lot easier to get your energy going and get your focus going. Something that we just been continuing to work on and build on our mentality as a football team this year. And I feel like it's a lot easier and y'all just more comfortable playing at home.
Why Tennessee so much better at home than on the road?
I think it's just the support of our fan base. I mean, to play at home in a place at Neyland, it's always special. And I mean, Neyland Stadium to me is one of the most special places that you could ever play the game of football in. And I mean, I love playing here, and our fans and the excitement that we have on the ball walk. It just pumps me up to go out there and give them my all for Tennessee.
Anybody else?
How does Auburn's offense look different when Jeremy Johnson's at quarterback instead of Nick Marshall?
From that aspect, I mean, he's more of a pocket presence, and I mean, the Marshall kid, he can definitely beat you with his feet. From what I've seen, he's almost an exact replica of what we've been seeing these previous weeks. A guy that if nothing's there to throw at, he's going to take it and run. And so with our defense, like I said before, we got to have gap integrity. We got to have all our points on the quarterback as a defensive line, and we got to get better at shedding blocks. That's something that we must get better at, and that's something that we will coming this week.
Anybody else? All right, we'll do 5 minutes of one-on.